Their magic is said to be a gift from the Fae of old. With enchanted voice and instrument, they channeled the song that flows through the ether. They've gone by many names in the past. Mythmaker, Tale Spinner, but in modern times they're simply called the Bard. Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be going over the lore and origin of the Bard archetype of my homebrew setting, Aesaris. Here I wanted to really seat the Bards in a type of history, designating the origin of their powers, but also designing how those very same powers work and providing an explanation for it as well. So, before we begin, to those that may find this video out of order, floating out in the void, this is actually a part 2 to my original video, which you can find in the description down below. I highly recommend you go and watch it, as you will have some reference for what's going to be getting discussed here. So without further ado, let us begin. The Bard. Spinning magic into art, bards set out to create songs from the chaos of magic. Channeling spells through song and poem, they're able to utilize magic in a wholly unique way, unlike the other arcane casters. The archetypal bard has a very free-flowing attitude towards magic. They sense, feel, and manipulate it through instruments or even with the help of specialized arcane tools which serve to magnify the effectiveness of their voice. The archetypal bard of Aesaris look to magic as an extra fount of creativity, and they allow it to guide them forward. Like inspiration for a new masterpiece, they string together the arcane fabric and produce spells as a result. A bard usually displays a natural talent in being able to hear the song within magic. This unique ability is prerequisite to becoming a bard in most cases, which if trained properly, you could learn how to hear it as well. And there are, of course, your cases of someone who learns this way of performing magic by natural talent alone. The origin of this practice is said to originate from the Fae, and it is this notion that brings certain bards to a particular arcane theory centered around their archetype of casting. A theory that states that magic is in fact alive, as it can listen and react to music. But the question is such: is it music that loves magic, or magic that loves music? And under the right conditions, why is this form of magic even possible? Is music, song, and art so ingrained in the fabric of the arcane that maybe sometimes there's this resonance that's created when the world around you enjoys a piece of art, song, or a poem? Maybe there's a type of grander effect happening that people are just unwise to. You see, unlike sorcerers, bards too believe inherently that magic is alive and that they, as their creed dictates, need to live alongside it in harmony. When it comes to magic casting potency, a bard can possess an arcane soul of any size, and their magical efficiency has to be adept at best. Where bards shine is, oddly enough, their natural affinity for weaving together spells. This practice is simply known as spellcraft within Aesaris. There is something they understand about this process that is unlike a sorcerer or a wizard, where a wizard turns the process of spellcraft into a grand equation, and the sorcerer weaves spellcraft naturally and without much thought. The bard is able to string together spells using sound and word, the more artistic side of the archetype filling in the gaps in understanding seamlessly. A bard doesn't even have to completely understand what they're doing. It is as if they're being led by some invisible force that fuels their creativity. And many bards don't quite understand this process at all. They themselves viewing it as alien, but something that they live with as it comes naturally to them. And as such, anyone can become a bard at any point in their lives, given they have the talent for it. Through practice of their craft, bards participate in the mysterious art of weaving together song and spell, and creating wonders with it. As for this drawing here, I wanted to ask myself, what would a bard look like if they were perhaps born in hell? I know that's a bit of an odd term, but hear me out. I thought to myself, what if their instrument didn't have to be necessarily even made out of wood? What would that look like? What would it be like? What if a bard's instrument was just a sharpened hunk of metal in the shape of an axe, and it had some enchants that allow magical strings to appear and allow you to do as a bard does and play music? And you also would be able to use the weapon portion of this strange bard instrument without worrying that the strings were going to get blood all over them or guts were going to get inside of the actual instrument itself. And in case you were wondering if this character has a backstory, of course it does. This is a D&D video. Her name is Devalia Rax, and the scars you see aren't actually scars, but birthmarks that people within the Raxorial line are born with, and these scars are believed to be basically trophies carried over from a previous life. And when a Rax Tiefling is in the heat of battle, the scars will actually begin to light up, resembling fire beneath their flesh. I've also completely redesigned the 9 Hells to feature 9 Tiefling royal bloodlines based on families that rule and preside over each layer, with interpersonal conflicts being a part of it all, and players being able to be a Tiefling with an incarnated soul of one of these Tiefling royal families. And I realized if I would explain this all here, this video would be very, very long. So with that, before I get too ahead of myself, I'll go over my renditions of the 9 Hells in a future video. For now, sincerely, thank you all for watching and listening along. If you want to see more content, be sure to like and subscribe. I have many, many more things on the way, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. Would you enjoy being a grunge-themed bard from hell? Because I fucking would. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.